The town of Hollow Creek has one rule everyone pretends not to remember. If the river goes silent, go inside. No one talks about who made the rule, or when. It's simply there, like the old bridge at the edge of town or the abandoned mill rotting along the banks. The river has never gone silent. Until last Thursday. At 6:12 p.m. the current stopped. Not slowed. Stopped. Water froze mid-ripple beneath the wooden bridge, smooth as poured glass. Leaves drifting on the surface hung suspended as if time had snagged on something unseen. Tessa Moore was the only one on the bridge when it happened. She had lived in Hollow Creek her entire life. She knew the river's moods, the spring floods, the summer trickle, the way it roared after heavy rain. It had never been quiet. The absence of sound struck first. No rush of water. No insects. No wind. Even the distant hum of highway traffic vanished. Tessa leaned over the railing. The water below reflected her face perfectly. Too perfectly. Her reflection didn't blink. The silence spread outward like a held breath. Windows along River Street slid shut one by one. Porch lights flicked off. Doors closed with hurried finality. They remembered the rule. Tessa didn't move. Her reflection tilted its head slightly. She hadn't. A hairline crack split the surface of the river directly beneath her. Not in the wood of the bridge. In the water. The crack widened in a slow, deliberate line, stretching from one bank to the other. From below, something tapped against the underside of the frozen surface. 3 knocks. Measured. Patient. Tessa stepped back. The tapping stopped. Then came a sound worse than any noise. Breathing. Not from above. From beneath the river. By nightfall, every house in Hollow Creek was sealed tight. Lights off. Phones unanswered. No one dared look toward the bridge. Except Tessa. She watched from her bedroom window, second floor facing the water. The river remained still under the moonlight, a silver sheet between the trees. At exactly 11:59 p.m. the crack widened. Darkness pushed through from below, not like mud, not like shadow. Like depth. The frozen surface bowed upward, bulging as if something enormous pressed against it from beneath. Then the river split open. Not violently. Gently. Like lips parting. Something climbed out. It wore water like clothing. A tall shape formed from dripping strands that clung together in the vague outline of a body. Arms too long. Legs bending wrong. No face, only a smooth, reflective surface where features should be. The river did not resume flowing after it emerged. It remained open. Waiting. The figure stepped onto the riverbank without disturbing a single pebble. It turned its faceless head toward the nearest house. Toward Tessa's. Her reflection in the window moved a second before she did. It raised a hand. And knocked. 3 times. But the sound did not come from the glass. It came from her bedroom door. Tessa's heart hammered as the knocking echoed down the hallway. Her parents' room remained silent. Their door shut tight. Another knock. Slow. Intentional. The rule echoed in her mind. If the river goes silent, go inside. It didn't say what to do if something came in with you. The doorknob turned. Not violently. Curiously. The reflection in her window smiled, though she had no memory of smiling. The doorknob stopped turning. Silence returned. Then a voice came from the other side. Soft. Familiar. Tess. Her mother's voice. Impossible. Her mother had gone to bed hours ago. Tess opened the door. The river creature did not have a face, but it had sound. Tessa backed toward the window. Outside, the shape still stood on the lawn, shimmering in moonlight. The voice at her door grew more insistent. Sweetheart, it's cold out here. Out here. The hallway light flicked on beneath the crack in her bedroom door. A shadow stretched across it. Too tall. The voice changed. Not her mother now. Her father. Then her best friend. Then her own voice. Perfect mimicry. Open the door. The window behind her fogged slowly from the outside. 3 taps sounded against the glass. Her reflection leaned closer, whispering silently. The rule wasn't about protection. It was about containment. Stay inside. Don't let it inside. Don't let it hear you. Tessa clamped her hands over her mouth. The knocking grew louder. The hallway shadow pushed under the door like spilled ink, seeping across her floor. Outside, the river creature pressed its faceless head against the glass. The frozen river began to fracture further, spiderweb cracks racing toward the banks. More shapes moved beneath the surface, waiting their turn. The shadow reached her bed, climbed it. Cold spread through the mattress springs. The voice from the door softened again. We only need one invitation. The shadow slid up the wall toward her ceiling. Her reflection's mouth opened impossibly wide. Inside it, she saw the riverbed. Endless. It filled with shapes that wore human outlines like borrowed coats. Tessa did the only thing she could think of. She screamed. Not words. Just raw sound. The shadow recoiled. The figure outside flinched. The cracks in the river halted mid-spread. Silence shattered. The river roared back to life in a violent rush, water slamming against its banks as if released from a dam. The shape on the lawn collapsed into liquid, sucked backward across the grass and into the closing seam of water. The shadow on her ceiling snapped upward and vanished beneath the door. The knocking stopped. The hallway light flicked off. The river sealed itself, flowing, normal, alive. Morning came with birdsong and wind. The town of Hollow Creek opened its doors cautiously. No one mentioned the silence. No one mentioned the rule. But they looked at Tessa differently, as if she had broken something delicate. The river flowed as it always had. But along the underside of the bridge, carved deep into the wood where no one had carved before, were 3 long grooves, like knuckles dragged across it. And sometimes, late at night, when the current slows and the insects pause, Tessa swears she can hear breathing beneath the water, waiting for it to go quiet again. Because next time, it won't knock.